Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, October 4th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVIDIA, MSTY, SMCY, PLTY, and your boy HOOY. But first, a nice look at Bitcoin. What a day yesterday, man. As of 10:20 a.m., they were at about 120K. And then look at that, 12:30 lunchtime at 123. They ended up, staying around, the 123, 122 range, which is pretty good. But yeah, overall a good day. The circulating supply, by the way, in CoinMarketCap, slacking over there. But like I said, may have to find another source on that. Strategy, I just checked, did not make any new purchases of the Bitcoin. So nothing to update there. But obviously, we do take the MNAV now into consideration. All right, so what about MSTY? All right, MSTY had trades, obviously. It was Friday yesterday. Friday is the expiration date of all the trades. Some already moved their trades into the following week on 10/10, and then some you save them until Friday, right? Bring it on. Bring on the pressure of the last trading day of the week. And then what do they do? Well, they pay to close out positions, and then they opened new ones. So obviously, YieldMax did that on MSTY and several others. But here's MSTY. The actual list was not too terrible. Wednesday and Thursday was a complete nightmare. But, yesterday was not too bad. They ended up with a realized gain of 184,000. So let's get to the file. No synthetic action, which is good. All right, little change up. No synthetic action. But let's see MSTR. Let's see how much they actually went up yesterday. And they did not go up, They did not. You know what? That's interesting, actually. Let's take a look. Bitcoin around, if we pull up, what was it, like 6 a.m.? I don't know what it closed at the day before, but, it figured it, a decent jump, too. Where's the close from the second? Or after hours, take after hours. Yeah, so it was at 120. So you figure 120 to 122 jump. And MSTR went down 0.2%. That part I'm a little confused about, but I don't know. Not sure. Not quite sure. But anyway, MSTR went down 0.2%. MSTY, they actually went up. So a nice slow down day. Not too bad. MSTY went up 0.07% for the day. IV, the change from 57 to 58. This morning we're showing 59 up in her. So that's good, right? And then the 7-day forward is at 58. But again, upper 50s, I'll take it, maybe the 60s soon enough. We'll see. All right, so here's some trade action here. Again, these are only the covered call positions. Obviously, the synthetics are on a different tab, but mainly, we'll cover them on the holdings. So if you see here, you could see how much they paid to close out some of the position. Just a reminder, MSTR did close at $351. So like this 350, again, MSTR was probably below the 350 at the time, so only paid 194 to close it. And then here, the 347.50, obviously, it was above, this strike price by how much? I don't know, maybe around $4 or $5. But they had to pay $5.40 to close that one, 65 cents to close that one. But overall, again, some winners, some losers on the individual trades. And yeah, most of these here got capped. And then you go down here. Again, I'm not going through every single trade. I'll highlight the net profit or loss for the final numbers for these, and just to see how much overall we made or lost, again, on the covered call trades individually. All right, so if I highlight just the trades that they closed yesterday, net profit or net loss, it was a net loss of 2.7 mil. But again, in the end, you know, if you just look at, if you're ignoring that and just looking at the price movement, you know, MSTY did beat MSTR. They actually beat them for the week as well, and I'll cover that on the holdings tab, so you'll see. Outstanding shares did not, if I scroll over, did not change. So it's still at 289 mil, 525,000. And then obviously, yeah, we have all these new trades, which they opened yesterday, which are pretty scattered. So we'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll go through them on the holdings. Here's the recap. MSTY now sits at 1474. MSTR sits at 351.63. The IVs 59.58%. Outstanding shares 289 mil. For this 4-week cycle, covered call, positions, they generated a loss of 149 mil. MSTR funds, again, the circulating supply of Bitcoin is not updating. MSTR did not buy Bitcoin, but the MNAV did drop from 1.51 to 1.48, right? And again, this makes sense now, right? Because Bitcoin went up in price, MSTR did not. So that means MSTR is of a better value, right? Because the lower the MNAV, the better value. That's how I'm freaking reading it. Not sure how you guys read it. All right, anyway, let's check out the price movement on all these other suckers. So MSTR, they went down 0.2%. MSTY went up 0.07. Winter went down 0.25. IMST actually went up 0.31. MST went down 0.2. MS2 went down 0.45. MSTW went down 0.26. And MTYY went down 0.58. So it's really just MSTY and IMST that actually had a green day yesterday, but IMST takes the win. So congratulations. All right, reaction. This is just kind of how I feel about this week. Again, the trades have defeated me. So, and like I said, I'm working on a different setup to my coverage going forward, but I am always up for suggestions from the community. After all, you guys are the ones stuck watching this. So, I'm thinking about covering something different every day, or even just doing like just a random live stream of just Q&A, stuff like that. That's obviously no preparation. That's pretty easy. And then of course there's more options coverage that that's really what I love to do, the options coverage, because that's fun. It's just, I don't know what people want to see when it comes to that. So I'd have to figure that out. By the way, good morning to all of you. We have 227 of you between YouTube and X waking up on this Saturday morning. I know. It's early. Yes, it is. Not in this house, though. Whole family was up pretty much before almost 5 a.m. today. But yeah, it's normal, unfortunately. Group D declares on October 22nd. All right, payment information. The summary is overall loss. We went through it already. The synthetic's hurting right now because, well, when I say the synthetic's hurting, the synthetic on paper is not hurting. The synthetic income from this, on the spreadsheet is. We'll get into what the synthetic's worth in a second, on the paper, as they say. The weeklies, we talked about that. So there is no net income to generate essentially an estimate. There is extrinsic income of 53 cents. So that's kind of like where I'm headed now. Again, they got time, but right now we'll just look at the 53 cents, which would be a 47% yield. Or if they just pay the IV as the yield, 67.66 cents. So there you go. All right, now here's the MSTY holdings, but here's the 7-day movement real quick. You could see here MSTR. This is Friday to Friday. MSTR had a really good week. They went up 12.11%. They went up 42 bucks. MSTY, however, they actually beat MSTR for the 7-day. Again, Friday to Friday, they went up 14.22%. So again, we know we sing cappity doo da, right? We do all that jazz. But in the end, you know, again, this is a pretty this we always look individual day, but when we look out over the week, it is nice to see this happen. It makes you feel just a little better up in her. All right. Now, again, we talked about the synthetics before. MSTR is sitting at 351. 351 is above the 330 and the 345. Both of those synthetics expire in November, but they're doing good. The 410, you know, again, that's going to be a tough one. The gold digger is here to stay. She's not going to let you leave without getting her money. So just be prepared to pay out. All right. Now, if we look at the covered calls for next week, again, all of this is for next week. How do you know? You look at the QSIP, you look at the stock ticker, you know, it has all that information. Obviously, the underlying has a bunch of numbers, but just read it as year, month, day, transaction, and then strike price. So focus on the month, day, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So 10, 10 everywhere, which means it's next Friday. And where are the strikes? The strikes are anywhere from 2 to 8% out of the money. They are scattered for real, which is good, right? This is a good setup for next week. They got some credit call spread action down below, which is, you know, pretty good. Now, let's go down here and let's see. What's the size of the fund lately? It's 4.2 billion. The NAV is 1474 trade price, exactly the same. We know about the 410. It's the gold digger. She wants our money. But the 330s, again, what are they worth so far? The 330 is worth 44 per share, and the 345 is worth 11 cents per share. Synthetic contracts total 122,000. The weeklies, the cover calls, they're selling cover calls on 95,000. That's 77%. And then credit call spread on 68%. So long calls, again, insurance plays, butt buddies, you know, you call what you want, but that's what it is. All right. And that's it. That's it for the MSTY coverage. Again, I do have a preferred stock tab. I didn't really do anything with it. I'm trying to understand MNAV, this and that, but yeah, forget about it for now. All right. Anyway, let's get to the other funds, starting with your boy. All right, so we got to scroll to the top because this download is in alphabetical order, and they told me A, B, C. There it is. Ooh, now that's nice and easy. That's just smooth sailing, baby. Buy to close, put, sell call, buy to close call. What the hell? All right, I guess they had just. You know, again, their trades were pretty much done for the week. I think we said the CONY fund manager, he went surfs up yesterday. You know, he did his trades. He was done data, but maybe people sold out of the fund. So maybe he did a remote play from the beach. All right, close these suckers out. They actually made some money on the synthetic too, 6.1 mil. Overall net profit here, net realized income, 5.3 mil. So not a bad day at the office at the beach, right? Anyway, coin, how you doing? Well, coin went up 2.09%. CONY went up 1.86. That's an 88, if I could read, 88% capture. So that is fantastico. All right. Again, we strive for 80, 88, even better. Now, how's their synthetic doing? They got two. They got a 1017 that expires, you know, not next week, but the week after. It's a 320. Coin is at freaking 380. So, bro, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. And that's not even the best one. The best one is the 300. This thing, woo-wee, it expires November. That thing is going to be worth bankity-doo-dah. We're going to the bank on CONY. And then we're wearing our freaking cone heads. All right, cover calls. Let's see where we're at. We're in the money on two, out of the money on two more. All right, so we're split 50-50. Again, we don't know what next week's going to bring, so no reason to freaking talk about it right now. We're just explaining the positions, where we at, this, that, and the other thing. All right, so CONY, the value of the fund, 1.4 bill. The NAV, 754. Trade price is the same. Now, synthetic is making bank. Again, $1.37 may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot. It's a $7 fund, all right? So a $1.37 distribution You know, right? What would that bring? Well, if you do the math, right? $1.37 if they actually paid it, which I'm not saying they will, but we're just having fun here, times 13 divided by the price, or the NAV, I should say. That's an over 200% yield. All right, 237% yield for if they paid this out. Again, they're not paying it. We're just having fun. All right, synthetic contracts total 37 thou. They're selling calls on all of it, credit call spreads on all of it. Okay, 30-day IV of coin, 66%. Okay, that's the 30-day. 7-day forward, 62. All right, so in the 60s. Now, IV estimate based on that, 36 to 39. But you see the synthetic on the paper, as they say, so that may help it. But they don't declare next week anyway. They declare in 11 days on October 15th. All right, now we got to cover Robin the Hood, or as they say, HOOY. We made it. HOOY. All right. Anyway, buy, call, sell, put, sell. All right. New money coming in. 300 contracts. What do you do? What do you say? So, yeah, they're just adding to the synthetic position. However, this synthetic is a 105. Damn. So, obviously, they're way ahead on that synthetic. All right. Let's look at the others. Buy to close, 199. Sounds like a sell price. Did they win that trade? Probably. I don't know. Maybe. We don't know the open price. We don't track it like that. Here's a buy to close, 338. That one's probably a goner, 350. Again, you do see the sells though right below it. So they did have credit call spread. So they offset, the expense to close out the position. So hopefully they captured a lot of the upside. But anyway, for the day, it was a realized loss of 2.9 mil of HOOY. All right, I'll stop. Anyway, Robinhood went up 2%. HOOY went up 1.36%. That is a 68% capture. Let's go right to the synthetic because you can imagine what that looks like. You know what that looks like? That looks like a 105, right? That looks like a 105. What's Robinhood at? 148. Oh boy. And it expires not next week, but the week after. So they're probably going to cash it out next week, right? Or the week after, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. When do they declare? What do they see? Right? She? Not next week, the weekend. Oh yeah. So it's the timing is going to be good. Okay, so HOOY, 2 strikes, 2 and 4% out of the money. That's for next week. The value of the fund, 253 mil. The NAV, 7804. I mean, these prices are ridiculous. It's a $50 fund. Launched at $50. It's at 78. It's been paying distributions. How the hell? Like, this thing is a monster. I mean, Robinhood is the monster, right? It's been, the stock is just, it's a great platform. What can you say? You can't deny it, right? You can't deny it. Now look at this synthetic. All right, the synthetic is worth $74 million. You divide that by the suckers, the outstanding shareholders, you get 2302 per share. I mean, that's just beyond ridiculous at this point. All right, synthetics own the paper, 17,000 cover calls, 17,000 credit calls. All right, they're using all of them. That's what you need to know. 30-day IV, 63%. 7-day forward dropping to the 59. Based on the IVs, again, it doesn't matter. It shows $3. Who really gives a crap? Look at the damn synthetic. You're getting a big payment. I mean, that's it. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so. Sorry, I gotta work on my Stone Cold impression, but for real. All right, 11 days till expiration. Let's move on to the NVIDIA nerds because you got to show love to the nerds. Without the nerds, would be nowhere. All right, where are we at? There we are. Hi. All right, so what do we got? One. What the hell is this? All right, early assignment, maybe by the close. Early assignment. Okay, let's ignore those suckers. Let's go right down here. 196. Ooh, wee. Ooh, wee. All right, just missed the cusp again. It was probably close. I don't know. We don't know what the original, what they got in the original, but does it really matter? right now we just see a realized loss of 2.6 mil. So let's just look at that and move on to the tab here to see what happened yesterday. NVIDIA, how you doing? Well, they went down. They went down 0.68%. NVIDIA went down 0.53%. So NVIDIA beat NVIDIA. Now, if we look at the synthetic, they got a 165 and a 170. Now, NVIDIA is at 187. So obviously, their synthetics are kicking ass. How are their covered calls for next week? 2, 3, and 5% out of the money. So we'll play that by ear. The value of the fund, 1.8 bill. The NAV, 1684. Trade price, same thing. Synthetic on paper is worth about $1.92. Covered calls, how much are they selling covered calls? Well, they got 98,000 synthetics. They're selling covered calls on all of it. Credit call spreads on about 73%. All right. And what do we got? IVs, 33 to 36% IVs. They declare next week, though. So, I mean, we got, what do we got? What are we using here? We got synthetic, 192 on paper. We got income estimate negative, and we got IVs around 44, 47 cents. Are we looking at anything fantastico here? Again, it's the last payment, right, of October. It's the last payment of the fiscal year. Are we going to get something special, or are we just going to get same old crap? We don't know. When do their synthetics expire? In November. So they don't got to close crap. So we're probably just looking at the same old, same old. To be honest, I don't know. Again, we'll do the guesstimate together tomorrow, and we'll have fun with it. All right, moving on to your boy PLTY, or shall we say Palantir High Yield Fund. All right, let's see what kind of trades they did yesterday. Oh boy, buy to close 19 cents. Yeah, hell yeah. 10 cents. Yeah. All right, what does this mean? It just means it cost a little bit, just a little bit, very little actually, to close out the positions for yesterday, because that means that their strike price was below the price of the underlying, and they generated a realized income of about 1.4 million. Now, if we look at the price movement, Palantir, they went down. They went down. Go down. They went down 8%. PLTY went down 7%. So, whoa. Like, whoa. Whoa. Your favorite song. Whoa. All right. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but hey, it went down. Doesn't matter. Our synthetic is still whooping ass. We got a 160. Palantir is at 173. Our covered calls, yeah, man. I mean, because of the dip, we're now sitting here way out of the money. 5, 6, 8, 11, and 12% out of the money. Let's look for next. I'm sorry, not next week. The assets under management of PLTY is 635 mil. The NAV is 62. Trade price 62. Synthetic on the paper, it's worth 505, which is fantastic. They declare next week, by the way. So, all right. So let's break this down. They got 505 on paper. They got an income estimate of 423 and their IV estimate of 279. So based on all that jazz, oh yeah, by the way, the fund launched at 50 and they're at 62. So how much credit carried forward do they have? I don't know. That is actually something I think, I know all of you ask me to, you all care about how much these funds make, how much they pay out, and how much credit debit carry. You guys love that stuff. So I may base my coverage now around that. So effective 11/1, that's kind of the realm that I'm thinking of, right? I'm going to gather the income and outgo of what each fund makes. I'm going to calculate each payout that they make, and then I'm going to calculate a debit credit carry forward for each fund, if that makes sense. If that is something that interests you on all of the funds, again, I'm going to try to automate to my best ability. But if that's something that interests you, let me know in the comments. Let me know, again, you're live. If you're listening, I know there's a lot of chitter chatter in the chat, but let me know either live or later on the comments. Because like I'm looking at PLTY, I'm like, I really wish I did have that information because I would be curious. Not saying it would be accurate, but you know what I mean. It would at least give me an idea. Because again, I ain't saying I don't screw up. Because I for sure screw up. Anyway, synthetic contracts total 36,000. They're selling calls on 90% of the position. All of that has long calls attached to it. So just in case they get a little cappity doo-dah for next week. Again, they declare next week. So we got to, tomorrow morning, we got to do a video. We got to say, how much is PLTY paying? And we're going to guess. We're going to guess together. And I don't know. I may need your help because we're anywhere from, well, they ain't paying 2. Again, I think I said this already. They're paying 5. That's my number. That's my minimum. The over-under is 5. I'm starting at 5, and then it's over-under from there. So you guys got to help me out. You guys got to tell me because sometimes I'm blind. I've been looking at too many numbers. I can't even see anymore. All right, now let's go to the SMCY. Suckers! 5-time, 5-time, 5-time. WCW heavyweight champion. All right, so what do we got here? Buy to close put. Oh, no. Oh, no. 3,000 contracts. All right, it looks like, again, when people sell out of the fund, sometimes they have to close out some positions. So maybe that's what happened. If it is, it doesn't matter. They've generated 3.4 million in realized income. So fantastico. SMCY went down yesterday. They had a red day. They went down 1.04%. SMCY went down 0.86%, so just a little less. The synthetic they hold is a $40 synthetic. It expires on November 21st. SMCY price sits at 51. Now, if we look at the covered calls for next week, again, they got 4. The lowest is 0.08% out of the money. The highest is 5.85. So again, whatever. We got 5 trading days. We don't know what's going to happen. No reason to harp on it. Just giving some numbers here. All right. So what's the value of the fund? 356 mil. The NAV, 1631 trade price, kind of around the same. Synthetic on the paper is worth about 385 per share. All right. On the paper. Now synthetic contracts, they total 69,000. They're doing credit call spreads on the whole damn thing. Now the 30-day IV, now this is a beauty. This is a 70% 30-day IV, 7-day forward, showing a little less, but all good. Income estimates in the negative, but again, they're part of Group D. They're not declaring for another 18 days. Last but not least, it's your boy TSLY, the OG of the OGs. All right, T to the S to the L to the Y. Did they have a lot of trades? Oh my goodness, yes they did. What in tarnation? All right, so what are we going to look at? We look at buy to close, right? BC. The normal download has a BC, buy to close. 13 cents, closed. 5 cents, closed. 1 cent, closed. 1 cent, closed. All right, what do you need to know? Basically, what does this mean? This means their strike price on their covered calls was well above the actual closing price of the underlying. So it was very, very cheap to close out those positions. So obviously the credit they originally got on the trade well exceeded the debit that it cost to close. So in the end, again, it was a overall profitable week for the covered call trades. Now, if you look here, if you net everything together for the day, they actually generated a realized income of 14.2 mil. That's what we're showing. That's what the spreadsheet says. What the hell do I know? All right, so now we go here. It bugs me with the R. There you go. All right, Tesla, they went down yesterday. Oh my God, Tesla and TSLY went down 1 to 1 to 1. 1 to 1 to 1. 1.44% for both. Let's look at the synthetics. Synthetic 415 and 420. They expire November 21st, but they're doing good. Now, covered calls for next week. 0.04 to 4% out of the money. Not much room there, but we'll see how things go. Tesla's been on such a run that you got to think there's going to be more of a sell-off. But again, who the hell knows? Nobody freaking knows. I don't freaking know. Sorry, taking a coffee break. Welcome everyone. Hope you had coffee. Hope you're having coffee. Hope you're off today. I see LA Appliance. You work today, LA Appliance? The value of the TSLY fund, 1.2 bill. The NAV is 834. Trade price 834. Synthetic on the paper, 30 cents per share. Synthetic contracts, 29,000, and they're doing credit call spreads on the whole damn thing. All right, it's 30-day IV, 61%. Now that's pretty damn sweet. I see a lot of blocks chatter, so maybe that's a fund I'll cover. Again, I'll make a spreadsheet for a lot of the different funds, and then we'll do. we'll do what we can. I keep seeing all-time highs on that fund. I don't even know. I don't know. Literally, I don't know anything about that fund, which is a problem. So I could just spend a whole day digging into that fund. Group A declares in 25 days, though, because they just paid you, right? They just paid you. But again, they'll pay you again in the month of October. So hopefully it's a good one. But hey, you know what? It probably is, because they still have synthetic. And although 30 cents don't seem right? 415, 420. Yeah, it is right. All right. But feels like it'd be worth more. But again, we'll see. We'll see. All right. That's the coverage on the YieldMax ETFs. Now we're going to, the YieldMax covered call ETFs. Now we go to the ultra high yield ETFs. And again, all I do here, I just look at the income and outgo. SLTY, they made 47,000 yesterday in realized income. Duolingo, everything made money. Everything they traded made money yesterday. Look at that. Shorted Tesla maybe a little bit, and they made 5,800. I like it. Now, ULTY, did they make money? No, they lost 43 million. And let's see, Centene Corp made money. Hims and Hers made money. Quantum Computing, again, you can see the expense. Maybe they blew through some covered calls, not quite sure. But again, if you look at the ULTY holdings lately, which we should probably pull up on the website, because I keep talking about it, but they are mostly holding the positions, right? Actually, yeah, QUBT. I'll do it right now. QUBT. That's my round hill spreadsheet I'm working on. So this is my ULTY holdings download. Okay, so QUBT. All right, so this, when you see this, obviously this is the ticker. So they hold QUBT like directly. It's not like a synthetic or whatnot. So they're holding the position. Then you see what cover calls over here, 10/10 expiration. Okay, so what does that mean? Again, as they sell covered calls on the actual position, they're going to make money here and there. They're going to lose money. But as they make money on this, they don't have to sell it, right? Maybe they'll sell some when they do a reallocation, or, you know, if they get rid of the fund, they'll sell it. But until then, it's not a realized income, right? They're not taking the capital appreciation. So although we're losing money on the covered calls, we are making money on the gains here, which is not getting realized, right? So this is kind of, again, I always talk about FEPI, kind of what the FEPI does, and that's why they're able to pay return of capital, if that makes sense. All right, so again, you know, that's just one example, and we can look at another like SoundHound, SOUN. Where the heck is this spreadsheet? So if I scroll to the S, if I knew my alphabet. Yeah, so again, same thing. They own the underlying directly. So if they're not selling, if they're not getting rid of the fund, then they're not going to sell it. They're not going to get the capital appreciation, if there is any, which I'm assuming there is, if they're blowing through their calls, right? So I don't know. That's just a quick explanation of what goes on with ULTY. All right, ULTY holdings, though. What are they holding? Nothing new. Nothing new. Still got that open door, baby. Still only 2%, bro. Up in her. All right, what else you got? You know, you got 6% Rocket, the damn Rocket Lab. All right, what's the value of the fund? 3.3 bill. The NAV, not the NAV, the freaking 30-day average IV, 88%. ULTY flat for the day? What kind of formula I got over here? I guess it works. Flat. Qs down 0.42%. All right, SLTY, what are you holding nowadays? Open her, up Kratos. Hello, Kratos. All right, they're still holding Tesla, because yeah, I think Tesla's going to come down, right? I feel like it. That's what it does. It goes up, it goes down, but it goes more up than down, obviously, in the long term. So you got to be in and out of that. All right, SLTY, the value of the fund is 16 mil. The 30-day IV 85%. SLTY for the day, they went down about 1%. YQs went up 0.39%. So again, I do, looking at the new coverage, I started making a little pivot of income and outgo of all the funds day in and day out, right? So here's just a few days. I can add now. What was yesterday? The 3rd. We'll do this effective 11/1. But yeah, this will just show the actual trades and how much money they made, and we can track again the income and outgo for every single fund. This includes the weeklies like Chippy, and then what we'll do, we'll track how much they paid out in distribution cash, right? And then we'll go from there. But yeah, future of the show. All right. Again, we can do that on YieldMax. The other funds, I don't know, man. I don't know. We gotta figure it out what the best way to talk about them is. All right, so that's the coverage on YieldMax. Now we're going to talk about my options plays. I didn't get to update this sheet, so I'll update it with you guys. MSTY, again, I did not sell any new covered calls. I have 600 shares, which means I can do 6 contracts. I only did 4 so far. So I have 4 contracts, 2 $14 covered calls, 2 15s. MSTY's at 14.74. Again, the plan is I'm moving 600 shares of MSTY from one account to the other, but I'm doing it through options, selling puts on one, selling calls on the other, right? I'm selling puts on the one where I'm essentially want the 600 shares to be in, and I'm selling calls on the one that I don't want it to be in. All right. Anyway, so that's where we stand on that. They expire when? 10/24. Their next X date is 10/23. So of course, this has a good chance, even though these are in the money, right? If they pay $1, they still drop $1, right? And then boom, it expire worthless. But again, I don't care if they get assigned. That's the whole point of me doing this. I'm welcoming the assignment. I just want to make sure I get them in the other account, which by the way, I'll have to cover. I'm going to do an account update probably tomorrow. I don't know. It might be pre-recorded unless I do 2 lives in a row. I don't even know if I could do that. Would anyone watch 2 lives in a row? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so that's the coverage on MSTY. Let's get to T to the S to the L to the L. A lot of action on TSLL. I have a lot of positions here. Now, for yesterday was the 3rd. Again, Tesla was down. So TSLL was at, here we go, 1966, right? Which again, believe it or not, that's down, So I'm comfortable with, I'm playing it safe. So I sold a put at $13, 33% out of the money. You would like to think that's, safe. But no, never is. This is a double leverage fund on Tesla. You know how crazy Tesla moves. So nothing is ever safe. And by the way, the expiration date is Happy Halloween. All right. Anyway, the delta on that was 0.08. Again, super safe in my book, quote unquote. So what did I get? What did they pay me for that trouble? $33. $33. Basically, I lent out $1,300, right? $13 strike times 100 shares. So here's your $1,300. They gave me 33 in return. If I calculate it on a daily income basis, annualize it, it's about what? 33%. All right. All right. Sound good? Great. All right. Yippee. All right. So again, TSLL, what do I got? I got how many shares? 500 shares, 500 with covered calls. All right. All of my covered calls are in the money. They're all blown through. So all I'm doing, I'm rolling them to death. But I'm collecting typically a 30 to 80% annualized yield on those covered calls. So if Tesla comes down, I welcome it. It's great for my covered calls. It's not great for my puts, but however, I sold my puts at a strike that I'm comfortable getting assigned on, if that makes sense. All right, now let's go over here. And you can see for TSLL for the week, I generated $307. So obviously, that's pretty good. It didn't beat last week. Last week was 420. The week before that, 125. So you can see I'm like, it's up, down, all around. It's all about the best fund to trade that week. Now we go to TNA. This is a boring ass ETF lately. I just haven't been able to trade it. So what's going to happen? Oh, here, 10-3. So this put, put expired 35, expired Friday. So you go here, current price to 47. Obviously, 47 is above the 35. So, I go to my account and I just make sure, okay, is that put gone, right? That put should not show on my holdings, and it does not. All right. Your account should also typically send you an email, or at least it'll be on the activity breakdown, right? That it expired worthless. I just simply look at the holdings and I see, okay, this is no longer there. So this expired worthless, this put. What happens when it expires worthless? Well, the $3,500, that gets added back onto my actual cash. I mean, it was showing on the available quote unquote cash. However, if you go under the pending puts, this number, this 3,500, was part of the pending puts. It's no longer part of that. So now I get that money to play around with. All right. So now here, well, obviously I can gray this out. And then I can hide it because, no reason to talk about it. And you can see we're getting lonely here. We only have 2 trades. So again, I have another put. Again, remember, I had like 5 puts at 35. Now I'm down to 1. All the other ones, they expired worthless. Is this one going to expire worthless? Pretty much. And then the only question is, what do I do with this remaining covered call? It's a 42. TNA's at 47. If TNA drops next week to say like 44, I am probably going to roll this because I can get a pretty penny out of that. If TNA stays at this range or moves up, I'm probably just going to let this go. And I'll let it, again, what'll happen if I let it go? Well, they gave me 42 times 100. They give me that cash, $4,200. Even though TNA will be at 47 or above, I'm only getting 4,200 because that's what I agreed to sell my position at. All right. Makes sense? Great. All right. So hopefully I feel like I'm going a little deep in this video, but hopefully it helps a few people. So for the week, I did not make anything on TNA. All right. Here's my new wheel on TNA. Again, I'm just waiting to set it up. I haven't done a trade yet. All right. Now we have open. So open was actually running up a little yesterday. And as you may recall, I did get assigned last week 100 shares at $9 per share. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put those shares to work. So I did a Halloween trade. Again, happy Halloween. So it was at 863. I could have sold a $9 call, collected a massive premium. But I said, you know what? No, bro. No, bro. I'm getting that capital appreciation in case it happens. So I sold a $15 call, 73% out of the money. Maybe that's just too much, right? Maybe that's too safe. But again, it is a 28-day till expiration trade. All right. So that's way out there. But we don't know, man. Open could do really good or it could crash. We don't know, man. We don't know. All right. So anyway, the delta on that was actually higher than you would think, 0.17. But again, this thing is super volatile, super crazy. All right. The question is, though, how much money did they pay me? They paid me $35, which is a 52% annualized yield. I got a 52% annualized yield on a 73% out of the money covered call. Like, that just doesn't seem right. That doesn't even seem fair. Like this open is just, I can't not trade it. And believe me, I controlled myself. I wanted to do more puts, but I didn't. All right. All right. So now let's talk about the puts. All right. So what do we got here? 10-3, 10-3. Okay. So they expired yesterday. We had a $8 and a $7. What did open close at? Oh, wow. 8.11. So I will go, and again, I have it on another screen. I'm not going to pull it up here. So if I go to my open position, it doesn't show those puts anymore, right? it shows how many puts. Oh, I got my long calls. Shows 1, 2, 3, 4 puts, which makes sense, and then 1 call. Okay, so and it only shows that I have 100 shares. So this 8 did not get assigned. Obviously, the 7 definitely did not get assigned because 811 is well above that. So these 2 positions, these 2 trades, both expired worthless. So again, worth the trade. Again, these 2 trades, they paid me what? $92. So I got that premium up front already. I put up what? $1,500. Now that $1,500 goes back into the cash bucket, and then I could sell puts again next week. All right. So what we'll do is we'll gray this out and we'll hide it. That's what we do. Now here's what we're left with. Now I only have 4 puts. Now I look like not as much of a degen, right? Now I can play around a little more with open next week. Again, I'm thinking about just loading up Halloween trades because it's fun, but we'll see. Maybe I'll go out even a little further at this point. All right. All right. So again, open. Oh, I have to change that. So again, I have 100 shares. I'm selling calls on that 100. And if I go down here, how much did I make on open for the week? I made $211. AMDL, I did not make another trade, but I will keep an eye on it. It is, I mean, it's a decently high IV, and it's a cheap one to do. It's just the options change. It's just a little weak. All right, RCAT. I did have 1 put expiring, 10-3 expiration. Let's see what the put was at, $10. Let's see what they closed at. They closed at $12.89, which is well above, the strike price. So obviously, if I go to RCAT on my holdings, I don't see that I was assigned any shares, and I don't see this put open anymore. So what do? I just put it expired worthless. So I gray this out, and I move on to next week, right? Again, just another degen play. All of these are degenerate plays. I'm not going to lie. So if you don't like high risk, I wouldn't even bother considering any of these. I mean, AST, forget about it. This thing is nuts. All right, so let's look at it, though. Again, remember what I did. It was a complete degenerate play, right? 224, that's the price it was at. I sold an in-the-money put at 250, 11% in the money. And oddly enough, it closed above the 250, right? So I would expect there are no AST shares in my account, and there are not. There is actually only 1 put pending, right? So what does that mean? That means this expired worthless. So I collected my $50. I only fronted $250, so it's not like I'm like, yee, I got all this money back now. I wouldn't have mind getting. Wouldn't have mind getting assigned, which is why I went in the money. But so next week I'll probably go in the money again, right? But anyway, yeah, that put expired worthless. So I'm gonna gray this sucker out, and then I will hide it. So I'm left with now 1 put that expires not next Friday, but the Friday after that, and it's also a 250. When did I do it? I did it yesterday. Okay, so I sold the put yesterday on this. It was at 260. I sold it at 250. Delta on that was 0.31, and it paid me $100. Do you believe this, guys? Look at this. 14-day trade. 250, which means 250 because 100 shares, right, for 1 contract. So I put up 250. They paid me $100. Do you look at this? The ROI on that is 40%. They gave me 40% back. I mean, that's just crazy. 40%. You get 40% premium up front on this freaking trade. I mean, I annualized that, and it's not even believable, but that's the annualized yield. It is. So over 1,000. So why am I not trading this more? Maybe because I'm a dumbass, or maybe because I'm waiting. Waiting for what? I don't know. But I will be trading ST more. Like, for example, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, it goes to 0. Oh my God, I lose 250. Oh my God, please. Oh, please no. But I don't even actually lose 250. I lose 150 because I did make 100 already on the premium, if that makes sense. So do you understand the risk versus reward here? And then, of course, don't forget, like they're supposed to have a merger, right? What is it with Strive? And Strive owns a crap load of Bitcoin. So if that goes through, which it's supposed to go through, I think, I don't know. I haven't checked on it, but I don't know. It's just no brainer for me. Like no brainer. At least in my eyes. Anyway, I made $150 this week on ST. But again, if ST tanks on Monday, yeah, maybe I'll go put crazy. I was thinking about doing I never do more than one contract, but this thing is so damn cheap. I'm almost like thinking about like doing a quick play. If this tanks Monday, I'm thinking about just doing a quick DGen play, pulling in $1,000 on the premium. I'm not even kidding. You guys want to join me on that? Feel free. All right, let's look at this other DGen play. Yes, this is also a DGen play. Remember, this one, it's a double leverage BM&R fund. So I only did one trade. I didn't do any more trades, but this is still pending. But this one, again, this one paid me $400, which is crazy. So, and that got added to the week, $400. So nothing new really there. Now, as far as my leaps, actually, I'm not going to get into the leaps yet. Let me finish the conversation on the income. So my total options income for the week was $1,170. Like I never even hit 1,000. So this is by far well above and beyond, any high that I ever made on freaking options income for a week. Now, granted, you saw what I'm trading. Like those are DGen plays, but at the same time, those are high IV. They're paying a pretty penny, right? So, honestly, there's no reason I can't make 1,000 next week too. And like I said, I might even make it on one trade on Monday. I might do it because I'm feeling like, why the hell not, right? I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about it. I'm getting a little cocky. Maybe lose my shirt in the process, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Now, before I do want to update my balance, but let's go to the leaps. I did not open any more leaps. However, TSLL put, I was up about $60 on this yesterday. This thing was worth, actually at one point it was almost worth $6. So that would mean I'm up $85. I did put a limit order for 6. It did not go through. So again, it just sits there. Again, I make money because I bought a put. I make money when the underlying goes down. The underlying's TSLL, and it was going down. So if TSLL goes down Monday or Tuesday, right, any day next week, this could be worth some money, and I could consider closing it for profit. That's kind of like the idea. All right, but yeah. And then obviously I have 3 leaps on open. These are $9 though. Open is still at 8.11, so it's not. These aren't really making money. These are more of a long-term play. Everyone's telling me to sell covered calls, which maybe I should, because they're just sitting there collecting dust. I don't know. I'm not too comfortable doing the poor man's covered call yet, but I may. Let's see. 5-0 investor. Gonna have to start the entire video over. People are bothering me at work while I'm trying to. Yeah, how dare they? Is right. Like, what are they doing? Sorry, I missed like most of the chat. I'm in my zone, my options zone here. But let me know if any of this information helps. Let me know if you even give a crap about this information. All right, but now I'm gonna update my balance because I'm curious. Again, you guys may not be, but I am. Because again, we had some puts expiring. So obviously my pending put number, that should go down outside of the trades I did yesterday. All right, so overall balance, what the heck is it? 56, went down a little, 56,462.63. Then we got available cash of 34,277.02. And then this calculates to, the actual money being invested in actual funds, right? But then, of course, you have the pending puts. Again, that's important to track. which, yes, it went down. It went down from 27,000 to now 22,550. All right. Which means, all right, actual cash, as I was talking about before, is only $11,000. So 20% of my account is in cash. Is that enough? I don't know. Remember, I also have the ability to use margin. How much margin? Well, look how much it increased from 16 to 21,470. Now, I want to explain why, right? Because I did have 3,500 alone was in no, I'm sorry, pending puts. What actually sold? Nothing really sold, but I just went from pending puts to cash to having more available cash. So yeah, nothing crazy happened actually for that to move. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at the numbers. But as far as margin that I can borrow, if this was not a bill pay account, we would be able to use 71,583. And don't forget, guys, I could always, like, if I get in trouble, if this margin goes, say I used 11,000 cash and then I used you know, the 21 in margin, like if I really needed to, I would just turn off the bill pay on the mortgage and pay it from my bank account, right? From my job. Again, I'm still working, so my job, you know, technically should be paying for that anyway. But you know, my options do. But you know, again, worst comes to worst, if I go through $33,000 like an idiot, I can still have some margin left over here, if that makes sense. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain that, if that helps anyone. All right, now I'm going to catch up on some comments and probably call it a day, bro. Right? Just a day. Well, here's Doc has been a member for 12 months. So shout out to Doc. He's still here. I appreciate you. All right, what do we got here? Any questions on options? Options for the masses. This coverage gave me the courage to try. Yeah, I'm gonna do more coverage on options for sure. I just don't. I have to make it friendly to people who have no idea about options too. Check it out. I'm paying off my margin. Good idea. Never a bad idea to pay off your margin, right? Brother says, comment and share. Doc is here. He must be off today. Lynn is here. She's looking at something. All right, so we got what? 654 people here. All right, is that enough? Maybe, maybe not. That's between YouTube and X, because again, we are live on both. So I appreciate you all being here. Now, so yeah, so that's it. Again, I got my account update, which I'm gonna do, like I said, probably tomorrow. And yeah, we'll talk about things then. But again, it's just a really good week. I'm pumped. Again, 1,170. My mortgage is 1,300, so I almost made enough to pay off the damn mortgage, which is pretty damn sweet. All right, Wolf likes ass. I did a $3 put on ass, paid me $155. $3 put. Now you're braver than me. Now, should I do a $3 put next week? I mean, why not? Right? Why not? Again, it's another $50 out of pocket. Why not? Again, we have to look at the underlying, of course. Do we think the underlying is going up? We don't know, right? We think it is, right? But we don't know. We don't know. But hey, I like it, Wolf. Good for you. All right. The dividend degenerates has 0 in cash. Uh-oh. Gotta start working, build up that cash reserve. National National Trucker Day today. Is 10-4 a good buddy keyword? Is it National Trucker Day? Well, shout out to the truckers. I don't know if any truckers listen to my channel, but if they do, shout out to them. I mean, they have. I give them all the credit in the world for doing that job. Not only, well, the hardest part is being away from your family for that long, right? Because you're on the road 24/7. Not to mention you're driving a gigantic piece of equipment on wheels, right? And that ain't easy, right? You're barely fitting the damn lane, right? You got to go in and out, and you're dealing with other stupid drivers all the time. I mean, they deserve whatever they get paid. They probably deserve double, triple. So at least that's my thought. You don't want to know how many $3 puts I sold. Uh-oh. Doc is doing $3 puts on ST. Sweet. I'm glad we got a lot of ST traders here. It's good. It's good. No, it's you know, what, let me check their IV. What is it at? I mean, their IV is 231%. That is, if not anything, an IV play. It's a beauty. It is a beauty. The calls don't pay great enough. Well, if you keep them, it depends, you know. I assume you're talking about ST still, so. Thank you, Rod. Is Paul, are you a truck driver? Is that what you said? Thank you. Shout out to you. Are you listening as you're driving? Be careful out there. Wolf. I didn't think you were a D-Gen, Wolf, but good for you if you are now. Just be careful out there. Just wait for semi EVs. Yeah. You heard Trump is thinking about furloughing all federal workers so the government doesn't have to pay back pay. Yeah, well, again, this whole government shutdown is stupid, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I don't have the energy. If it drops to 2, I still get good premium. Yeah, you do. Brother says all the drivers I know are making 6 figures, and that isn't enough. Well, to be honest, 6 figures goes a long way. If you're talking about 100K, yeah, sure. I don't think that's enough. Are they making 800K? That may be enough, right? If 800K is not enough, then you got a problem. The real play is when you take the premium and buy SMLR for the 2105-1 merger exchange. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. We're all D-Gens. Yeah, pretty much. That's probably why you're here. Saw TSLY semi-trucks in California. Most of them were broke down on the side of the road. Well, maybe the battery died, all right? Imagine the battery on that thing. That thing's got to be a tough-ass battery. Pull that thing. It is cheap enough. I can afford a small loss, and a $3 put is only $150 after premium. Yeah, it sounds like we all love ST, all right? Should we call it ST or just S? All right, so where do we go now? I think we're done. Right? I think we're done chit-chatting, right? I think we had a good time. Let's refresh the Bitcoin. Let's see where we're going for the weekend. We're at 122,000. We'll see where we go. Are we going up? Are we going down? What do you think? Where do you want Bitcoin to go? Do we want it to go down so we can buy more Bitcoin, or do we want it to go up because we're done buying Bitcoin? Or are you good either way? I'm kind of good either way, because yeah, I'm doing daily buys on Bitcoin. But yeah, it's. Here's silver. My son is a local truck driver, and he made 123K last year. He's home every day. Oh, wow. Local truck driver. Okay. That's good money. And happy, hey, tell your son happy National Truck Driver Day, right? Go buy him some sushi tonight. Give him a bottle of wine and some sushi. All right? Treat him. Come on, Silver. All right. Brother is aggressively buying Bitcoin. Good job, brother. Good either way. Daily buys of Bitcoin is the way. 100%. I want to stay here or go up to 1,000 a week. Hey, like I said, I may do don't quote me on it, but I may do $1,000 trade on Monday. Just get it over with, right? Why not? Boom. Then, you know, then I could just, I don't want to say play it safe, but we'll see. Bitcoin market reaction will be overblown this weekend, but it's still very bullish. Yeah, I mean, look at that chart. That's the 7-day chart. Let's pull up the 1 month. Yeah, 1 month a little bumpy. 1 year. I mean, look at that thing. All time. Jeez. God, you want to get ill? Good Lord. Man. 0.05. Wow. What a damn shame. How life would have changed if I bought, you know, imagine just throwing $1,000 at 0.05 Bitcoin. No, I'm not saying I would have held it this long because I am a freaking moron, especially during those years. I will buy him lunch and tell him Rod told me to. Yes. Yes, you should. Good job. Good job, Daddy. I scalped Bitcoin up 7,000%. What? You're up 7,000%, Lynn? All right, maybe Lynn should buy your son lunch today. I mean, I am. Maybe share what you're doing in the Discord if you're in there. Under I think we got some trading channels in there. Waiting for a little dip. What little dip? Bitcoin? Just make it a 12:30 buy on BTC. Lynn, that's awesome. Yes, it is. Takes work, but you get to know it. Scalp, scalp, scalp. All right, Lynn just made a bunch of friends. So Lynn is going to share her Bitcoin strategy, right? What do you think? Maybe we'll get her on the morning show to share it. Because we want to make that money too, right? Show me the money. Are you trading on Kraken? Lynn needs her own channel. Yeah. Does she have a channel? I didn't look. If not, Lynn, let's do it. Make a channel. We'll share it. Share. See, now everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know. So, yeah, let me know. Or come on. Do you have X, Lynn? We'll do space. I'm gonna do spaces next week in the morning. Feel free to join. Or you could do the morning show too. It's up to you. But then I typically want people on the morning show that want to show their face if possible. I mean, Grumpy Toad, you're late as hell. I should be done actually by now. But good morning. Better late than never, I guess, right? Sharing is caring. No, I like sailing in free time. No to what? No to morning show and X spaces? Or, I don't know what you're answering. I like sleep. Yeah, I know. My kids don't. I wish they did. Maybe tell them how awesome sleep is, and they'll know. Oop, spilled the coffee. Rod and Lynn in the morning. Yeah. No, I mean, I want to hear about it. So maybe I'll reach out to me, Lynn, after if you want to share, or you want email me on through the YouTube email, or the reach out to me on X. If you don't want to share, that's fine. Then just don't reach out. You would do the morning show? All right, Doc. What are you going to talk about? Do you have a plan? You want to share like your investment journey? This, that, the other thing. But yeah, reach out to me, Doc. I think you're on X. So yeah, you know, you're definitely on X. We joined the spaces way back. Grumpy, welcome. All right, I think that's it for the day. Oh my God, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. What you miss? Pretty much nothing. Again, Grumpy, it's a show about nothing. We talk about nothing. We make noises, and we just, you know, in the end, we walk. It's pretty much like walking in a circle, right? You're like, what the hell just happened? Hey, yeah, I'm here. I've been listening with my eyes closed. Good morning. Did I put you back to sleep, Clive? Look at Lynn. Damn. She's like, most of you want to marry BTC. I do one night stand. She may be a fun interview. I like spaces best. All right, yeah. Do you want to do Tuesday or Wednesday morning spaces? Do some Q&A. I am nothing. That's like Mike Tyson. Remember? Did you ever see his interview? You know, he says, "Who am I? I'm no one." Right? I just love his mentality, Tyson. He's like the man. Richard Bully, he's laughing at something. Probably Lynn. But Clive is tired, man. He needs a break. Thanks, Rod. Another show about nothing. Now I have to play the Seinfeld music. Only available Friday. Well. I don't really drive to the office Friday morning, so that ain't gonna work. We'll figure something out. All right, guys. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back tomorrow, and I'll try to do my best to be entertaining. Grumpy Toad says, is it Monday yet? Which reminds me, Monday I am having the income architect on, Brad. Some of you may know him. Well, a lot of you probably know him. He's a YouTuber, right? He's a YouTuber. He talks about a lot of funds. He does a lot of interviews. He's retired, so he's a good person to talk to. He has a lot of experience in the investment world. So, make sure you join Monday morning show with ROD and Brad. So I think it'll be a good one. Seinfeld, best show ever. 100% agree. 100%. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I am the same, Grumpy, but after 40 years and losing a leg, I can say my investing makes more than I ever did working. Wow, Wolf, you're killing it, bro. Like I always say, Wolf is the most loyal of the subscribers. He supports all high yield dividend channels. I will definitely can't wait to hear the guesstimate on I didn't even look at GDXY. Yeah, we'll look tomorrow together. You the man, Wolf. See? Everyone loves Wolf. Oh! All right, anyway, what else? If you guys enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you're on X, hit the heart. If you want to help the channel, there's ways, right? On X, it's simple. You hit the retweet button, right? You know, the arrows that go like in a square. You hit that button. It's a button, right? And that shares the channel so your followers can see the video. And they'll say, ooh, should I click this? And then maybe they click it, maybe they don't. And if they click it, they may say, yeah, right? But, or they may say, what the hell's wrong with this dude? I'm going to unfollow his ass because he shared a dumbass video. You know, that's the risk. That's up to you to take that risk though, right? But also, if you're on YouTube and you're just a YouTube listener, you can always just share the video wherever you are. Like you can share it. You can actually reshare it on your YouTube for your YouTube audience if you have one, or you can just share it in Reddit and Facebook groups and this, that, and the other thing. All right. Yes, he is. He's always in live chats. Yep. Wolf is my best set. Yeah, we got to get dividend degenerates. Some more peeps her. And to be honest, I've listened to some. I gotta listen to more of your videos. I listened to some of the premieres, but I gotta up my dividend degenerate game. Wolfman for Halloween guest. Oh my God, Sunita, you're beyond late. Well, look at this. Johnny A made it. There we go. Good morning, Johnny A. Bidets, buddy. Oh man, now we're moving, but we're ending. I'm sorry. I know Sunita and Johnny, you just got here, but we have to end it. But we're gonna get to the keywords. So, what is the keyword? All right. If you made it this far in the video, and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. All right. You guys can think of the keyword. You could type it in the comments and then we'll pick it. Dividend Degenerate has a premiere at 9:30 a.m. There you go, everyone. Hope you guys should attend that and bombard it. And show him some love. So you're doing your predictions today. Look at you jumping ahead of me. Look at you. Good. That's a smart move. Keyword late. Yeah, that is a good keyword because that applies to Grumpy Toad, that applies to Sunita, and that applies to Johnny A. So they are all late. Oh yeah, and this trucker, yeah, we got to do the trucker thing. Sorry, even though they're late. It's well, this is per brother. He said it's National Trucker Day, right? Is it? I don't know. We're just going by him. So that's going to be the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in the keyword. You got to type it on X. You got to type it on YouTube. And the keyword is Happy National Trucker Day. All right. All right. All right. So, yeah, you got to type that in below. If you have any trucker friends, I guess you could text them. Happy National Trucker Day. All right. Now I'm out of here. I got to get my ass moving, do some things, baseball today, this, that, the other thing. And then, we shall talk tomorrow. Sound good? Thank you all for being here live. Thank you all for watching after the fact. And I'll talk to you all soon. Later.